I may have just discovered the #1 strategy for easily winning matches in Fortnite Reload, and it's so simple that literally anyone of any skill level can try it. Picture this: imagine if you never had to worry about your team getting squad wiped, and as a result, your whole squad could be extremely aggressive, picking fights and playing nearly worry-free. Sounds pretty nice, right? I had a crazy yet intriguing idea to dedicate one squad mate to hiding on the edge of the zone, ensuring that the rest of the squad has an outlet to respawn regardless of what happens in any given gunfight. In theory, on paper, this idea sounds absolutely amazing, but how effective is it in reality for the everyday average player? Can intentionally leaving your team a man down ultimately benefit the squad? Shout out to my friends Train, Kale, and Awesome for hopping on and helping me with this Fortnite Reload science experiment. By the way, go ahead and drop a like on this video now for a week's worth of good luck. Plus, it's free, and use code Dr. P in the Fortnite item shop. Over the course of testing this strategy for a handful of games, we quickly discovered that the effectiveness of this strat depends entirely on the pace of the game that you're playing. Really, what you want to see if you're doing this is all of the players in the lobby fighting with a lot of people dying quickly before the reboot timer turns off. In order to help that cause, your team, everyone except the person camping of course, should go straight after any and all action, fighting, shooting that they can possibly find. Play straight up recklessly, play as crazy as you want, because the worst case scenario is you just respawn. This strategy is all about eliminating as many teams as you possibly can before the reboot timer gets turned off. It's also a really good strat for those who are seeking really high kill games, because you're playing pretty much risk-free. You're not risking an elimination fully, at least, allowing you to just keep pushing people and getting super aggressive in search of a 20 or 30 bomb. As far as the one person camping goes, there are a couple mindsets. One is to go right to the edge of the zone and slowly come in with the zone. One is just to go get in a tree or something near the middle of the map and hope you don't have to move, which actually is very possible given the small size of this map. Through the games that we tested this strategy, each and every time we made it very cleanly into the end game when reboots were turned off. There were even multiple instances where the very fact that someone was hiding away from everything allowed for a clean respawn of everyone and the pressure to be kept up on the people who had just killed us. Obviously, nothing is a guarantee, but if you've got someone actually doing this strategy on your team, you're almost guaranteed to make it to the reboot timer. In a situation where the camper gets killed, everyone who is fighting needs to be aware of that and allow the guy to respawn back in, because it's not that hard to just fly back into position and get to another spot. However, through all of our tests, I don't think anybody actually got killed in that position, maybe once, but it really just didn't happen. Now, when the reboot timer turns off, you're obviously gonna have to move and prepare to go and finish the game with your team. Unless you're right beside a big pile of loot or can kill someone and get their loot, the best bet I've found is to simply eliminate yourself, because you spawn back in with a weapon which is better than you already had, and it really only takes one good kill or your teammates being kind to get caught back up to speed. Pro tip: the Chapter 1 trees on this map are incredibly overpowered to hide in. Get in a tree, and before the timer gets to 0, simply jump off the top of the tree. Just make sure you're high enough. Of the 4 games that we did this, we averaged 2nd place, and we did get a win, easily advancing to the end game each time. Then I had another crazy idea. What if instead of one person hiding, we did the whole team hiding? It was actually really fun and highly entertaining. We also won a game doing this whole strategy, but I can definitely see how this would get extremely tedious and pretty boring after doing this a couple games in a row. But what I will say was not boring was this guy falling for the classic bait in the most classic bait spot in the history of Fortnite. This one is just about the oldest trick in the book. If you do decide to take your whole team camping like this until the end game, the Loot Lake house right here at this spot, it's hard to beat that. You know, it's centrally located, it's hilarious, and it's a very unsuspecting spot. After playing this way for a while, the general consensus among the squad was that this was a very very effective strategy if your goal was simply to get a lot of kills or to guarantee that you're going to make it to the end game. At the end of the day, when the reboot timer turns off, you're gonna have to make some plays, you're gonna have to do some damage at some point, but basically you can get a free pass all the way up to that point. With that being said, I don't know if I would necessarily recommend this strategy to people because it is so different. One person doesn't really get to do much of anything, potentially your whole team might not get to do much of anything, but I can't honestly tell you this is bad. It's definitely a unique way to play, and there are definitely some advantages to doing this. There's no doubt about it. What do you think? Do you think this is an effective strategy? Is this something that you would try? Let me know below, and while you're at it, go ahead and comment the word taco. We'll see you in the next one, and peace out.